Yes, people, what is going on? We're back with another one. As you've probably seen by the title of the video, we're going to be talking about the biggest problems in UK medical. So there are a few issues, as with everything in life. There's good, there's bad, there's pros, there's cons, there's positive, there's negative, there's yin, there's yang, however you want to see it. There's always going to be some problems, right? But I do believe there is solutions to these problems, and over time, more problems are going to pop up. So this is just kind of my current outlook on the state of the market and how things currently are. And not just the market, the scene overall, I think. And these are not all issues that are at the clinic, pharmacy, producer level. Some of them are patient level. And I believe it's something we as the patients need to kind of change our outlook on to some degree. To help for this to improve overall, and it will take some time. So yeah, I like I said, over time more things will come up. As I always say, people, this ain't no medical advice. I'm not no doctor. I'm some geezer sat in his car hitting record and just talking about his experience. So take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. I'm not a doctor. If you want to go and get a prescription, go and speak to a medical professional. I'm just talking about my experience and what I think can be improved. The current biggest problems with UK medical. So the first one, I think there's four that I'm going to be touching on today. And the first one, come on, people, I'm sure you can all guess it. I'll give you a couple of seconds to write it below in the comments, because I'm pretty sure everyone knows what I'm going to say first. Price. The price of the product is too high. Okay, the clinic fees have come down. You can even get clinic fees that are £0 now for life. So you have to pay nothing except for the product and delivery. But the product's too expensive. You know, people, they're moving packs of 10G at a time. I get it, you know, depending on the process it's gone through. It may have had to been irradiated in one country and then gone to another country to be repackaged, and it's got stuck in customs between there, and it's like 6 months down the line. The company should have already made the money back, and I get it. There's a lot in the background going on which we don't see as patients, but that's also hidden from us. So I think that kind of leans into one of the other points, but we'll go there in a minute. Basically, my point is there is no sort of pricing structure, as it were. It's kind of just, what do you want to charge? And because of that, what we're getting is some stuff at the higher end being absolute whack, and some stuff at the lower end being really decent. And both at both ends as well, and in between, wow, it's just as much of a mixed bag, if not worse. So I think price, it just needs to come down overall. I don't understand. I know we're in an early market, so some of these companies are learning. You know, there's teething issues. They're going to have mess ups. They're going to be trying to recoup money to make sure they can survive and continue. But I think charging the patients over the odds, especially for a subpar product, but charging them over the odds anyway for what is ultimately a plant, albeit a plant that's been grown by professionals, you would hope, and it's gone through a lot of processes and it's cost a lot of money. I get that, but at the same time, we do still need to remember this is literally a plant, and to be charging £10 or more a gram on 10 grams, I think is insane. There is no legal markets that I know of where, you know, you can talk about Amsterdam, but it's not a legal market. It's a tolerated market. It's a lot of Amsterdam's based around tourism. And even then, you can find bangers at cheap prices if you go to the right place, but you can also spend silly money, you know, on a G of some import or whatever. But at the same time, you're buying a G at a time in them places. We're being forced to buy 10 or 15 Gs at a go, and we don't even know what it's like. I wouldn't mind if they were charging £10 a G on 1G, because then you'd think, all right, well, you know what, a tenner, and I'll see what it's like, and then I'll buy more. But this leads me perfectly into the next point, which is consistency. There ain't no consistency. Currently, if I bought 1G of something, I have no belief that if I was to go and buy 10 Gs of that, it would be the same as that 1G, because it even getting stuff from getting it once and getting it again, it's not been as consistent. And then when you speak to other people, you know, there's so much inconsistency, man. Whether it's in the same batch, whether it's in the same brand, the same strain. You'd think that all three of them things being the same, me and you are going to be receiving the same product. It's not like that. It's not. I don't know why it's not like that. Well, there's reasons, but I think those reasons need to be how can I say, mitigated over time to the point where what I get and what you get and receive as a final product should be exactly the same when we're talking the same batch number, the same brand, the same strain, everything else is the same. But I don't think that's happening. We're getting complete inconsistencies across the same batches, the same brands, the same strains. And on top of it, my biggest gripe with consistency, it ties back into price. There's no consistency of what's good and what's bad for price. Like, you know, if you buy a car, right? The way I always say how you feel, the how good of a quality the build of a car is, yeah? It's, don't get me wrong, there's loads to cars. I love cars, but at the same time, just an off-the-cuff, quickest way where you want to check the quality of a car, right? The quality of a build of it. Not how many more miles it'll do, but I'm talking about the quality of how it was built. You open the door, you get in, and you shut the door, right? The difference from, say, I don't know, a Corsa that I used to own to an Audi that I owned, it's a massive difference, mate. You jump in a Honda or you jump in a Merc, huge difference, mate. Just in how the door shuts, massive difference in quality. But there's a difference in price, mate. There's a difference in price. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the quality. You're paying for the premiumness. You're paying for how sturdy it feels when the door shuts, how deadening the sound is. You can't hear any of the road noise because they put loads of insulation in the door cards and in the pillars, and they've made thick metal on the doors so that it's harder to dint, and they've made the hinge mechanism on the door. I mean, this isn't a car video, but I'm just making it clear. They made the hinge mechanism on the door so that it holds the door in place on like rigid points. Whereas on cheaper cars, you'll find that the door will just fly open if the wind takes it, and it will just flap and bounce back off itself because the hinge is shit quality. It's cheap. But you don't mind because it's a cheap car. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them. You're not as fussed because it does the job. And I get it. Like, for a lot of people on medical, that's what they're bothered about. It does the job. That's okay. There's other people who are bothered about quality. That's okay. We're all valid. We can all, you know, find our place in the market. But we can't when the prices is fucking inconsistent, mate. How are we meant to find, you know, the top shelf quality flour and the cheap and cheerful everyday does your job when people are paying 120 quid or £100 for 10 Gs and going, yeah, it's all right, does the job. Now, it's just not there. The consistency's not there in pricing. I don't know how they would, you know, they would have to come up with some sort of system. I say they, who's going to come up with it? What's the regulations behind it? I don't know, but I think this needs improving. I think there should be a price to quality correlation, and this also leads me into another point, because I do think this is part of the quality, is how you know if it's quality or not. But then again, you have to see it. But the lack of information, mate. So this is my third point, lack of information. There is not enough. There's not enough info on these products before we get them in our hands. And then once we have it in our hands, there's basically no info anyway. You can go on MedBud, and if they've managed to find some info from somewhere, then it'll be there. But how reliable is that information? Will it even be there? There's loads of strains I've had. Look at the last video I dropped. Loads of them were unknown irradiation, didn't know the genetics, didn't know the terpenes, didn't know... Oh, there's loads of stuff. They had no information on it. And yet we're having to just buy it and see what it's like. At that point, I think that should be going for like 20 quid, because it's like mystery bags at that point, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be charging the prices you are for 50, 55, 60 quid, whatever, or more, and you've got none of this information available. I don't agree. And also, this is a medicine. When do you buy a medicine and the terpenes in this medicine are what is going to have a massive effect on how it makes you feel? They don't tell you what terpenes are in it. You get the product in your hand, you don't even know the terpenes that are in it. Like, I've had one strain in the entire time of being on medical that had a terpene breakdown. There was a test on the back of it, like a COA on the back, certificate of analysis, for those who didn't know, because I didn't realise that that's what that stood for. But I'm now threading it into combos like I know it. But yeah, COA, certificate of analysis. This is when they test the flower. This was on the back of an AAAA, Lot 420, as they also known is the brand, orange cake. It had a test on there of 29.9% THC. It showed all the terpenes. This is something that Voyagers did in Amsterdam years ago. Pheno Finder and Voyagers, they were doing it where you were buying 5G and they would give you a pot and it was like a little pop top. Do you remember the pop tops? Anyone remember the pop tops? Yeah, it was a Pheno Finder pop top with a sticker on the side with the COA from the flower. I think that's bang on, and we're talking, you know, a tolerated market at that point. Now, not many places are doing that, but one brand on medical I've had doing that, and I've tried loads of brands out. Loads of brands. Like last month or this month, I tried 5 brands I've never tried and not one of them provided that information. Some of them had information on MedBud that was detailed and most of them didn't. But I want it not on MedBud because it's not usually getting on there anyway, but also I want it from the manufacturer, the producer, the packager, the person who has the product, who's tested it, because they have tested it, they have to test it. Why are they not giving us this information? Why are they not telling us when it was harvested? Why are they not telling us what processes it's been through? Why? I think some of it is because if you find out something was harvested a year and a half ago, you're not going to want to buy it, right? And they need to sell it. I think that's a big part of it, right? But also, I do think a lot of it's oversight. They don't realise how maybe important that information might be to some people. I don't know about that one. It could be. I'm open-minded to say it could be to some degree. But I think a lot of the people involved in it have been involved in the market worldwide. And if you go anywhere else, that information is kind of a given available thing. Package date, harvest date, sometimes moisture contents, terpene contents. Instead, all we've got is the amount of THC in it, in percentage wise, which means nothing anyway. Come on, THC is like, you put in 36% on a pack and people are testing it and it's coming up at 29, then why are you putting 36 on it? It's to sell it at that point. I believe it's a marketing thing. And I think not enough people are bothered about the terps currently because they don't know and they're not provided this information. The doctors, they don't provide you with this. I had a full-blown conversation with my doctor about terps. I started that conversation. He didn't mention terps. He was talking about THC content and indica and sativa. He said, we'll give you an indica for the nighttime, a sativa for the day, and a hybrid for in the afternoon. I was like, I'll be honest, mate, I'm more looking at terpene breakdowns because for me, that's where I find the effects come from because most of this stuff's hybridized anyway. Like there's nothing that's truly indica sativa really on the formularies. It's all indica dominant, sativa dominant or hybrid, which basically means it's just all hybrids. Do you know what I mean? I talked about him with this. He said, oh, you sound like you know your stuff. Fair enough. And we had a good chat about terpenes. He obviously knows about terpenes, but he wasn't going to provide me with that info. And they don't provide you with that info on the fucking packaging. On the first ever one of the packets had it. And I was like, oh, that's mad. Every other packet I've had since, none of them have had this information on there. If we could have some way to have all of those info on there, the harvest date, your packaging date, moisture content. I think on that Lot 421, they had like moisture loss, so that it showed you how much moisture it had lost, or there was a fair few different things on there that they had that was kind of crucial information to how much quality of the flower was retained from the point of the finished grow to the point of getting it. Some of that's to do with time, some of that's to do with a lot of the other factors in there. But I just think that information should be standard. Why is it not provided, mate? That is one of the most annoying things about this market to me. They're providing information that they think sells. I think that they think. I hope that landed. But yeah, I reckon they're thinking, people want high THC. Let's put high THC on the packs. Let's get the highest test we can. Let's, legally push it to however much we can before people will say, oh, you're outside of the thresholds there. None of it's testing at this. Why? Because people will buy it. It's until we all educate each other and learn more, because there's so much more to learn, man. You know what I mean? I'm learning every single day. about this plant. Every single day I'm learning new things, and I love it. You know what I mean? This is something that's been a passion of mine for my entire life. I say my entire life, the majority of my life. Obviously I weren't rocking around as a toddler, but majority of my life I've been very interested in this plant. And it's crazy, a lot of people are very dismissive when I've spoke to them over years about terpenes. They're just like, yeah, and now it's become more of a conversation, so I'm fucking buzzing about that. But everyone is just focused before on THC content, and I think that that's what the producers are kind of, they're on a lagging sort of indicator, if you like. If you know that term, maybe you don't. It's quite a unique niche term. That they're lagging though. They're behind. You know the word lagging. We all know lagging. They're behind. So they are operating, because obviously the grows and everything they're doing, it takes a long time to process through the market and get into our hands. And as we know, sometimes that's over a year. But they've already put their money in. They need to try and get their money out. I get it. Yeah, I think the lack of info, it ties into this consistency, it ties into the pricing, and the last one, the fourth point of all, and this, I'll be honest, this is on us, patience, right? It's patient outlook on stuff, patient opinion, in fact, I would say. A lot of people seem to think that their opinion is a fact, and it's not. Neither's mine. My opinion is my opinion, that's fine. But for a start, consider everything I've just said there now, right? Consistency being a key thing. Now, you could get the same batch of the same flower and think it's beautiful. I could get it and think it's absolutely dead. Now, there's a couple of things there. Is it just not for me, or is it bad quality? Now, let's just go off the bat and say, I'm not going to be talking about not for me. I'm talking about bad quality, right? But I think something's bad quality and you think something's brilliant quality. That doesn't mean you're wrong, bro. That doesn't mean I'm right. That means we both have our own opinion on something that we potentially didn't even get the same product, mate. Like, if you had mine and I had yours, we might have a switch in opinion. I genuinely think a lot of the time you would, because there's some people saying, you know, everything from such brand is dry. No, certain things I've had from that brand have been the stickiest I've had on medical. Like, super, super sticky. No trichomes knocking off into the pot. And then stuff from the same brand I've had where you snap it and it's just like a powder burst of the amount of trichome heads just flying everywhere. I'm not talking mold spores, I'm talking trichome heads, because it's that dry. No mold would be occurring in some of these super dry products I've had. Like, genuinely, it's so dry. And other people rate that product. And I'm like, are you just accepting of a dry product and you're okay with that? And you think that it's still good? Or did you just get something that's different to me? Do you know what I mean? Because it can be dry and still have some terps left, but it also, 9 times out of 10, when it's that dry, the majority of the terps are all gone, or mostly gone. And I just think, yeah, we should be more of the elk. I feel there's a lot of people thinking one person's right, one person's wrong, and that's cut and dry, that's the end of it. No, there's a lot of opinion in this, and I think we all need to respect that. Like, you might like something genuinely that I didn't like, and vice versa. That is life, mate. That is why there's loads of different cars on the road. That's why there's loads of different types of ways to live. Some people will live on a boat. Some people will live in a skyscraper apartment. Some people will live in a house. Some people will live in a flat. Depends what you want. Depends what fits your lifestyle. Depends what you can afford. There's so many factors that come into it. But I also think people just, I don't know, a lot of patients don't seem to see that. Not everyone. There is a lot of level-headed people as well. But there's a fair few that just think that their opinion is their opinion and nobody can say anything different. And it's just not true. It's just not true. Like, their opinion is fine and it's their opinion, yes, but it doesn't mean that anything else anyone says is not true. Even with me, you know, people sometimes will think, oh, you know, medicated mate like this strain, I'm going to see what that strain's saying. I didn't like it. I've had that happen so many times, mate. So many times I've seen someone online here on YouTube talking about, oh my God, this strain was incredible. I've picked it up and it is, you know, worst 5, in my bottom worst 5 strains that I've ever had on medical. That's happened a fair few times. Sometimes it's stuff I pick randomly, based off of terpene breakdowns and stuff, and it's a brand I've never tried, and I've gone for it, and it has been the worst. But there is other times where I've picked something, I've paid good money for it as well, thinking, well, this person who I trust has got a good judgment said it's incredible. I'm going for it, and it turns up, and I'm like, what? And the first thought is, what is that person on? How do they think this is good? But then you have to just realise they they potentially didn't get the same thing. Like, I'm getting people saying that Cadillac Rainbow is coming through hazy. Loads of people have been saying it was like haze. I fucking love haze, mate. It's nothing like haze for me. I don't care how many people will say it. I'm never going to change my opinion, which is that my batch, what I have, is not like haze. That many people have said it to me that I've been like triple re-smelling and checking, thinking, can I get any? No, there's just no haze coming through from it. So I'm like, there's clearly an inconsistency. I'm not saying the people saying it's hazy is lying. I'm not saying that. I'm not. If anyone felt called out in that couple of seconds there, please don't. I'm not saying you don't know what haze smells like, and I'm not saying your Cadillac Rainbow doesn't smell like haze. Mine just doesn't. It's nowhere in any way, shape, or form. I've even shown other people that I know, and they've been like, nah, no haze to that. I'm like, yeah, it's mad though, because as people I genuinely believe, and I know they're telling the truth, they're saying it's like haze. How? What? It doesn't make no sense. Are they just knocking out whatever? I don't know, mate. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? So yeah, they're the 4 main points. I do think all 4 points kind of mesh into each other in some way. But ultimately, I think the price, we can do something about as a patient by not spending the higher end money and, trying to move the market to that lower end bracket. I'm not going above 60 quid no more. I just don't see the point. Even the 60 quids that I got, they were dead. The 60, the 55, the 50, they were all way worse than the 45 and the 40 pounders that I got this month. Last month, 40, 49, 50s, they were all sound, well better than some of the ones I paid 60, 70, 75, 80, 85 even for. So for me, I'm going to keep my price down there. The opinion side of stuff, I think we all just need to loosen up a bit and just not get so offended if somebody has a different opinion, because there is, sounds mad to say this, some of you'll be laughing hearing that, but you might be laughing, one, because you're not going to get offended off of someone's opinion, but laughing because you've seen other people being offended off of someone's opinion. Like, this scene is mad for it, I can't lie. They just don't have the ability to process the fact that somebody else can think something different to them, and that is valid, whether they like it or not. Even if they've got the same product, sometimes I do think like you mustn't have the same product, or there must be something different. But sometimes they might even have the same product and they just got a different opinion. Like, just let it go, mate. We're adults. Just, how much does it matter to you that someone else online has got a slightly different opinion, bro? Come on. So yeah, it's one of them. I think they're the ones we can change. The consistency and the lack of info, and the price, really, but there's part we can have to do with that. The consistency and lack of info, all we can do about that is just continue to provide our opinions and experiences, give feedback to the companies, and hope that they change these things and change things throughout the process to improve the consistency and the lack of info, because ultimately there is definitely people out there that will be willing to spend more than £60, so long as, even if they think right now, oh, it's a joke that £8,500 and they're not that great, there is a lot of people who would be willing to spend £60 or more if the consistency was guaranteed and the lack of info was sorted out. I think the price comes into that as well, though. But all of these are stuff that I believe will develop as the market develops. And the same way with patient opinions, eventually people are going to realise, come on, like, we're all arguing over difference of opinions. It's like saying, well, I like a blue car, well, I like a red car. Yeah, well, red cars are shit. Yeah, well, blue cars are shit. Do you know what I mean? Sounds fucking daft, but that's the state of it sometimes. Just know, people are going to get different things, people are going to get different opinions. It's life. Let it happen. We're all adults, Yeah, that's it, people. I'd say they're my 4 main big problems with UK medical currently. I think they can be resolved and improved, and then we'll probably have some new problems to deal with. But that's life, innit? Let me know below if you think I've missed out any problems. Big up to every single one of you as well for watching. If you've gotten to this point, drop the 420 in, man. Let's go for back to the OG. If you got to this point, drop the 420 in the chat. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. Check in the description I've put a link in there now, which has got the discount code and affiliate link from Dynavap. Big up anyone who wants to use that. That'll support myself as well as getting you a discount. So big fucking love. Thank you to Dynavap for that as well. I'll update the link section. I've basically made a links link, if you like. You can click on it and all my links will be on there. So that'll update all the time. I'm going to start putting that in every video description, trying to, you know, be a bit more consistent with that, because I forget always. I say, oh, I'm going to put this in the description, I just forget completely. So hopefully I remember and I put it in the description. But yeah, other than that, I just want to say big shout out to everyone for being here. Thank you for being in the lives. Thank you for helping grow this channel and this community, people, because it's happened rapid. It's mind-blowing, to be honest with you. And yeah, we've got a lot of big things coming, man. We've got a lot of big things coming. And it's not long now till the launch of the Black Tiny Mite. Come on, Tiny Mite Black Edition, here we come. Saying that, it's not, I've not got one on order or anything, but I believe you can buy the attachments, the direct oven adapter and things like that separate. So I will be definitely looking at trying to get that stuff for my current Tiny Mite once it all releases. Other than that, yeah. In fact, I wanted to say as well, big up man like Boca Bandit, because I didn't mention him in the last video. Big up yourself, bro. Medical Bandit, big love to you, man. He's actually just started his own channel and he started popping videos out the other day. In fact, he was doing videos before, but he's actually started doing videos where he's just talking about his experience. And yeah, I think it's well worth, in my opinion, going and listening to something like that, just to see what another person thinks and feels about the scene. And yeah, subscribe, hit the like button for him. Go and show some love over on his channel, man. He's an active member of the community, both in the Discord, on the YouTube, in the streams. Yeah, he's a fucking legend, mate. So make sure you go and check his channel out, Medical Bandit, fucking legend, bro. Always showing the love, and yeah, can do nothing but try and show it back, my bro. So big up yourself, big love to you, mate. Yeah, other than that, we'll catch you in the stream on Friday night. Well, it's Friday now, so depending on how long this takes to upload, this will either be out today or tomorrow. So hopefully I'll either have caught you in the stream or I will catch you in the stream, depending on how it goes. Yeah, big love, people. Thank you for being here. And I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, and yeah, have a good weekend, have a good week. Catch you soon.